Going to great lengths to look good isn't a new thing by any means. Long before we could just slap on a Snapchat filter, people did some pretty crazy things to enhance their appearances. We'll show you some of the most wild beauty inventions that were downright dangerous in their time. Before we get started, make sure you're subscribed to the taco for more videos. Let's begin. Nose shaper. Long before you could head to the plastic surgeon's office for some rhinoplasty, and before we understood the power of contouring, people still felt conscious about their noses. During the 20th century, there was an option for those who didn't like the way that their nose looked, but we can't say that it was painless. Just check out the Trados Nose Shaper. Advertisements claim that it was developed by a face specialist, which is a pretty eerie title. In later advertisements around 1928, ads claimed that new nose shaper models were designed by a pioneering nose shaping specialist. The advertisements promise that this device can change the shape of your nose in a pain-free way, but frankly, we are skeptical of both of those claims. Don't worry though, you only have to wear this nose prison during the evening, so you won't have to explain it away to your friends and coworkers. It promises to be the only nose shaper with precise adjustment, which makes us wonder just how many other nose-shaping devices were out there at this time. This thing looks like a bizarre nose chastity device, perhaps created to stop people from picking their nose. Beauty Micrometer. Ladies, we've all been there. You want to quantify each and every one of your facial imperfections, but who has the time to sit in front of a magnifying mirror for that long? Well, no worries, because the answer to your problem is the Beauty Micrometer. This horrifying device was also known as the Beauty Calibrator, and famous beautician Max Factor Sr. had a hand in its development. Yes, that's the Max Factor behind the brand of makeup bearing the same name. Wow, we wonder why someone selling cosmetics would want a way to point out each and every flaw on a woman's face. Even at the time it was invented, magazines were quick to note that it absolutely looks like a frightening torture device instead of a tool used to beautify women. To use the Beauty Micrometer, simply place it on your head and let it use its flexible metal strips to align with your facial features. And we assume try not to panic while doing so. Screws will hold the metal strips in place while you make hundreds of painstaking adjustments that are accurate to 1/1000th of an inch. You'll be obsessing over your properly measured flaws in no time at all with the Beauty Micrometer. Dimple Machine. Dimples are slight indents in the skin that many people find absolutely adorable. These visible indents are caused by variations in muscle structures below the skin surface, but if you weren't born with them, don't worry. You can still get the look of improperly formed muscles by using a painful and frightening device known as the Dimple Maker. It was invented in 1936 by a woman named Isabella Gilbert, who maybe spent too much time worrying about her face while using a Beauty Micrometer. This New York native claimed that the process of acquiring dimples was simple and permanent when using the Dimple Maker. All you have to do is slide this nightmare device over your cheeks and let the two knobs on either side press into the tender and sensitive skin on your cheeks. Just let them bore a couple of holes in your skin and muscles, and soon your hard work will be rewarded with a fine set of dimples. That is, of course, if you don't listen to that pesky American Medical Association. They made scandalous claims about the Dimple Maker, including that it doesn't work and may cause cancer. Who are you going to trust, a medical association or this frightening cheek-pressing device? Facial holding mask. If you love the way that your skin feels after you apply a soothing facial mask, do we have the invention for you? Instead of rubbing on a serum or cream, have you considered covering your face with a terrifying rubber mask instead? No? But what if we told you that it promises to electrocute your face? Apparently, no woman's face was safe in the 1930s because to add to the bizarre and painful beauty inventions was Dr. Joseph Brueck. He invented this scary mask in 1933 and called it an electric face molding mask. Apparently, he decided that the best way to smooth out wrinkles and fine lines was to apply a massive amount of heat and pressure. If you wanted to treat your face like an ironing board, you could buy this device and have an array of heating coils pressing onto your delicate facial skin. If you're one of those paranoid people worried about things like, how do I breathe in that thing? Don't worry. You breathe through a set of tubes that go in your mouth from the mouth of the mask. Then you just peer through the eye slits and you're good to go. Sure, it might be a little claustrophobic and dangerous, but just think of how great you'll look afterwards. Chin reducer. Ladies, are you forced to deal with entirely too much chin? Don't worry. This handy product invented in the 1890s can help you get the carefully chiseled chin of your dreams. Professor Eugene Mack created this device, which he called the Chin Reducer and Beautifier. Not only did he have the audacity to create such a thing and give it an absurd name, but he also charged $10 for each unit. That might not sound like a lot, but adjusted for inflation, this meant people would shell out hundreds of dollars for this device. In addition to rearranging your face, this contraption promised to deal with any swollen glands that you might have. No matter what kind of neck you have, this device promised to alter it into a more socially acceptable one. If your neck is flabby, it can make it fit. If your neck is too scrawny, which is apparently a thing, it'll give you a nice rounded contour. As if all that wasn't magical enough, it promised to bring a rosy flush to your cheeks and get rid of wrinkles and fine lines. We assume that the facial redness is a symptom of putting your face in what looks like a guillotine and applying pressure to it. Glamour bonnet. Girls, get ready to ditch your highlighter and contouring kit. You've tried makeup, you've tried electrocuting your face, now it's time to get real and harness the power of atmospheric pressure. Just pop the glamour bonnet onto your head and you'll immediately look like you're getting ready for a deep-sea expedition. This torturous-looking beauty device was actually invented by a woman named D.M. Ackerman, and we wonder if it was in some sort of revenge towards her fellow woman. We wouldn't exactly call this bonnet glamorous, but it does promise to transform your face by enhancing and improving your complexion. Don't you love the way that your body feels when you're standing atop a high mountain or flying through the air on an airplane? Now you can feel like that anytime you want, but lowering the atmospheric pressure on your head. You'll be sitting around wearing this thing for a good long while, so you'll be relieved to know that it has a clear window so that you can read through a magazine while you're getting the glamour treatment. The logic here is that the change in atmospheric pressure will stimulate blood circulation, thus improving your natural complexion. Thermocap. If you thought it was just women who got all the fun when it comes to scary beauty inventions, think again. For as long as men have been going bald, they have been trying to come up with ways to combat hair loss. In the early 1900s, the market was totally saturated with gadgets and poultices promising to give the user a thick, luxurious head of hair. One particularly intimidating-looking device was developed by Allied Merck Institute in 1923. It's called the Thermocap, and we bet that it was a huge hit with the ladies. In theory, it worked by stimulating hair follicles that lay dormant on your scalp and gets them to grow again. Naturally, in practice it doesn't work at all, but desperate men would put this ridiculous-looking device on their head and sit still for 15 minutes per day at least. While you sit there with your neck straining under the weight of the cap, your scalp will then be blasted with heat. It may be easy to laugh at now, but this was considered pretty high-tech at the time that it was invented. People today still use all sorts of crazy and potentially painful devices to grow hair or to remove it, so clearly we haven't learned much from this period of history. Leeches. Back in the olden days, doctors thought that tons of illnesses were carried through our blood and thus came up with a reasonable solution for curing them. Simply remove a bunch of the patient's blood and they'd be good as new. One common method of blood removal was leeches, and you've probably heard that they used to be an important part of ancient medicine. But did you know that they were also recreationally used for beauty treatments? They were so popular in the 1800s that many people fancied themselves leech collectors and made their livings capturing, breeding, and selling leeches. To use them as a beauty treatment, simply attach some leeches to your stomach and let them enjoy a nice meal. Then transfer the leeches to your face. Once they're done doing what they do, you'll be left with tightened skin and a youthful glow. If learning about the existence of leech facials made you cringe, we have some bad news today. This ancient beauty trend is making its way back around, and people to this day are trying to improve their looks using leeches. Model Miranda Kerr swears by leech facials, if you can believe it. Suddenly, that glamour mask doesn't look so terrible after all. Freckle Removers. Just like dimples, freckles are a feature that many people find endearing, but for a long time they were considered incredibly undesirable and women would do anything to get rid of them. There were a ton of over-the-counter products designed to rid your face of the scourge of freckles. Some of them were made of benign ingredients that simply failed to produce the desired results, but others were far more dangerous. Many of them, including Stillman's Freckle Cream and Othine Freckle Remover, contained ridiculously high levels of mercury. We would like the record to reflect that smearing mercury all over your face is a very bad idea, no matter how much you might not enjoy having freckles. Even those formulas that didn't contain mercury were still dangerous for your skin. Some common caustic ingredients popular at the time were lemon juice, vinegar, borax, and horseradish. A few even included sour milk in the recipe, which is enough to turn your stomach. But if you're a proactive person and want to stop yourself from ending up with freckles, you could get a device to allow you to shun all incoming sunlight. Sure, you'll have to dress up like a ghost, but at least you won't be tempted to rub mercury on your face. Slendering Salon. The weight loss industry has been going full force for a very long time, and that's nothing new. While today we have fad diets that severely restrict food, expensive diet products, and all manner of wraps, shakes, and pills, things looked even freakier back in the day. Instead of wasting your time and energy exercising to lose weight, you could just relax in this not at all frightening slenderizing chair. Just sit back and work on your knitting while your legs are encased in giant metal coils that roll back and forth on your legs. So relaxing, it's practically like you're at a spa. There were a whole bunch of machines designed to roll away the fat, like this Slendro massager designed to roll away weight from the hips, again using massive metal coils. In fact, there was a complex rolling machine for just about every part of the human body below the next. These beauty inventions look like accidents waiting to happen, but then again, if you do lose a finger or two, that's even more weight you've managed to lose. All of this stuff looks so complicated, dangerous, and unpleasant that it's hard to see this as an easier alternative to just working out at the gym. Would you be brave enough to try any of these strange beauty inventions? If you're daring enough, let us know which one you'd like to test out in the comment section. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more updates from the taco. Thanks for watching!